Video we're gonna make a HTTP server, right? So in order to do that, we have to understand what is HTTP protocol. What is HTTP protocol? So HTTP protocol basically stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocols, and it is nothing but a protocol which allows your front end to communicate with your back end. In other words, it allows you to communicate. It allows the communication between server and client. Server and client. For example, you have to call your friend, and in order to call your friend, you have to dial his or her number in your device, and you have to click on the call button. Now, what does he or she has to do? He or she has to pick up the phone on their side. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna call your friend and you're gonna ask the question. Your friend is gonna interpret the question, maybe do something with the question and answer you back, right? Basically, like calling a friend. Similarly, what happens over here is the client, which is front end, the client sends a request to the server does something with it, maybe runs a machine learning model, maybe does some calculation, it can be anything. The server does something with that information and returns you the final result, right? Basically, it's nothing but you throwing some information, like client throwing some information at the server doing something with that information, and server responding with the final result, right? All right. So HTTP protocol has two sides. We have understood that HTTP protocol has two sides, client and server. So let's understand what is there on the client sides, right? Things that client needs to worry about. First of all, it's protocol. It can be HTTP or HTTPS. Here S stands for secure, right? There should be an address. There should be an address which can be a URL. It can be an IP, or it can be a port number, right? There should be a route. There should be headers with body and params, which is parameters, query parameters basically. And you should also have method. These are the things that client needs to worry about, right? Now let's see what all server needs to worry about. Server needs to worry about three things: response headers, response body, and status codes. All right. Now that we know all of this, let's go ahead and create a HTTP server. Before that, I want to tell you one thing, that whenever we give a URL, for example, we go on to our browser and we click google.com, right? Over here, the google.com is URL. What it does is, it does a server lookup, a DNS lookup. DNS stands for domain name service lookup. And what it does is, it converts this URL to IP via handshake. We are gonna understand handshake and all in our upcoming videos. So it does a handshake. It does a DNS lookup. It converts the URL to IP and then sends a request to like the request further. All right. Now that we have understood this, let's move on. All right. Now let's create a HTTP server. Let's go ahead and create a HTTP server. Now we are going to use Express for that. First of all, do npm install Express in your PCs if you have not done it yet. We'll go to the terminal. We'll have a new terminal, and you have to do just a sec. Okay. Yep. All right. Now I'm in the right folder where I have saved this file. Right, I'm in the right folder where I have saved this file. Go to your terminal, do npm install Express, and what you're gonna see over here is it will install. If you have not if you don't have it, it will install it. Right now we have it, so it's not, reinstalling it now. All right, once you have done this, you have to create a const. You have to include the module express, right? We are going to use the express. We're going to use express. Then we are gonna mention the port on which we are exposing it. Mention the port and expose HTTP server. Right, let's do it on port 5000. Let's do it on port 5000. Then we are gonna use this. This is like a pre-made code. We are doing nothing but including things from Express library, and this is the standard way of doing it, right? This is a standard way of doing it. In order to create an Express app, in order to create an Express API, we have to include all of this. All right, now we are going to understand get and post methods. Get and post methods. So what is a major difference between get and post methods? Get is basically used to request data from a specified source. Like generally, get is used to retrieve data from a server, right? Like fetching documents, fetching images, and all of that. It's like getting things from server. And what is post? Post is used for sending data to server to create a resource, update a resource. Like when we are submitting a file, we are uploading a file, then post methods are used. All right. Now what we can do is, over here we can create a get method. We can create a get method where we'll just we'll just print hello world. This is request, this is respond. Now this is something like, this is a function that we are passing over here, right? And we do not have to worry about it yet. This is just a syntax that that get method follows, and we are going to send a request which will print hello world, right? It will print hello world. We are going to print hello world. Now once we have added this, let's send a post request. All right, for this the syntax would be app.post, and on which domain, domain do we have to send the post request? Let's do anything. Let's do a convo over here, so that whenever we specify the URL, for example, when we do this, it's going to client is equal to Safari, and this is the URL that we have, right? This is the page that it's leading to, right? So we're gonna specify the page, then we are gonna send a request, and over here what we can do is we can just send a message, which is message. We can send anything. For example, we are learning server. We are gonna send a message, we are learning server. We can also send another message, which can be message 8 plus 8 is equal to 16, right? Sorry. Alrighty, so we have sent two messages. Let's see what happens. For this to run, first of all, we have to also have a listen port, right? We also have a listen port because we have to have some port where these things get executed. So in order to do that, in order to have a incoming call, a response from that, we have to specify this. So we are going to mention the port that we have mentioned above. We are just going to mention the port. and we can just simply print that. We can just log that we are listening, right? We do not need to print anything over here though, but yeah. All right, now that we have done this, let's go ahead and try to run this. In order to run this file, what we have to do is we have to specify node and the name of file, creating server.js. Alrighty, so it says that it couldn't find my file. It did not find my file. Let's see where the file is. In our system, creating server.js, module not found. Alrighty. Let's see. Creating server.js, I think it's in the downloads only. Let's see. Alrighty. Downloads. Creating. Oh, okay. It's not in the downloads. Let's go back. Okay. I was specifying the wrong path. Cohort, maybe this is the, yeah. Alright, now we can do it. This node creating server.js. Node creating server.js. All right, so what happened was that the port that we are using over here is already busy. So in order to free up this port, let's try and change this port. Let's save it and rerun it. Yeah, so as we can see that listening got printed over here. Earlier the error was that the port over here is busy, so that's why it was not working. So maybe some other file is using this port, so it got clashed with it. So we can just simply change the port number and it's listening. Now when we go to the file, we go to the localhost 5000. I think we mentioned 5000, right? 5000. Okay, 8000, sorry. Okay, localhost 8000. It printed hello world, right? It printed hello world. Now let's see what is happening under the hood. Under the hood. Oh, go to your Postman, create new workspace, HTTP. Now enter the URL over here. We'll just simply go here. Copy this URL, go here, post this URL, and select get over here. And send it. Now, as we can see, hello world got printed, right? Hello world got printed. Over here we have headers. We have a lot of headers over here. Now we can also create our own header authorization. Let's keep any value over here, 1 2 3 4 5 6, any value over here, right? And send this request. Now what will happen is, when we will we'll rerun this. Okay, just a sec. We have created our header over here. We'll just rerun this. Okay, port got changed. 4000. Let's rerun this now. Listening. Let's change the port. Send. Hello world. Authorization. Send. And we have conversations. Let's post it and send it. Okay, convo, right? Convo. We are learning server, right? All right. So what is happening over here is, we have created this post method, and when we mention this URL over here, right, this thing over here, and we send a post request, then this message that we have in our code gets displayed, right? This message that we have in our code gets displayed.